Okay. Thank you. Thank you for listening to that little jazz music there for a second. So, I my name is Eileen Nicole. I'm doing this podcast. This podcast is called And That's Why. This is about women's issues, children's issues. So, I have some stuff that I want to talk about. Really, it's pertaining to, things that I'm dealing with or things that women are dealing with in general. So today, I'm just going to go over. So the reason why I'm making this video is because I'm always on YouTube and I'm always looking at different stuff. And um, lately, I've been seeing a lot of, you know, just mess, and it's directed towards women, specifically Black women here on YouTube. So I decided to just go ahead and talk about some of the stuff that is important to me. What's important to me is that women are warned and they know how to avoid certain situations where that would get them abused or killed. Because this has happened to somebody, my sister in my family. She was murdered a few years ago from domestic violence. And it's taken me some time to get back into social media like I was. But anyway, I kind of just want to get to this information here. So I just kind of want to be here only for support. I'm an advocate, a domestic violence advocate, and I just kind of want to go over some of these stories and then just different ways that you can avoid running into some of this stuff. So we're just going to go over, let me go ahead and some of these stories. So these stories are coming out of Atlanta for right now. Let's see here. So let me go over this. There's two stories. I'm going to go over this one story first. This is the Atlanta child murder story. Now, I'm kind of lightweight. I've been kind of obsessed with this story for a couple years now because it's just mind-blowing how a bunch of kids can come up missing and then nobody's ever caught for it. They arrested. So this story is back in, I can't remember when exactly this happened, but I believe this probably happened in like the 70s, I want to say 60s or the 70s. Anyways, the man that they caught never got arrested or convicted for killing any children. The name of the man is named Wayne Williams, and he's a Black man, but this man never actually killed any children. They never proved that he killed any children. As a matter of fact, he was convicted of killing like 2 adults or something like that. He was never tried for the children. However, hold on just a second, because this electricity. They decided to they didn't they put the child murderers on him, even though, like, in a media way. Legally they didn't put it on him, but when they mention it, they mention his name as if he's the one that's convicted of killing all those children, but nobody has been convicted of killing those children. It's also tied to another story that's kind of big, which is the Johnny Gosch story. And this, anyway, we're not talking about that, but that's a little bit of background about this particular thing here, and they have an update. So we're just going to read this here. Utah lab examining evidence from Atlanta child murder specializes in generating DNA from degraded samples. Sorensen Forensics in Salt Lake City is the DNA lab helping Atlanta police confirm if Wayne Williams is the person who killed more than 24 children. Remember, I already told y'all, they're just wasting our time. I feel like that's what they're doing. Anyway, more than 24 children murdered in Atlanta more than 40 years ago may, in a way, finally be able to tell police who killed them. 11 Alive and NBC affiliate KSL TV in Salt Lake City learned Tuesday that a cutting-edge DNA lab in Salt Lake City is the lab that will be helping. All right. the infamous Atlanta child murders killings that were committed years before DNA testing was invented. Okay, so yeah, this happened like, I want to say, yeah, 79 to 80. Okay, so, and that lab may have that lab may give voice to the victims. Most of the murders have been blamed on Wayne Williams, who never went to trial for them. I told y'all, but but let's just move on here. Sorensen Forensics is 2,000 miles and 4 decades away from where the Atlanta children took their last breath. So rest in peace to those babies that had to meet their demise at some fuck nigga that decided that those children's lives weren't worth it. I believe some of those children were probably used and abused in a way that we all know that they used those children when they kidnapped them. And then I don't think any of those children are alive. I hope they're not, because I hope that their suffering was very short. And I hate to say it like that, but I hope that it was, because none of those children were ever found. Atlanta police will still suspect Wayne Williams in most of the crimes. Now, I'm going to tell you, they probably suspect him because he's Black. And, usually people that, when you watch those FBI profile shows, they tell you people that look like themselves usually commit crimes against each other. That's just kind of like, so I think I get it, but this man was saying that he was working for the CIA. I mean, we don't know what psyop he was under. Anyway, the children's bodies were discovered one after another. Oh, wait, they was discovered. Oh, from 1971 to 1981. Williams was convicted in 1982. I thought they said they didn't find these bodies. Oh, yeah, you know what? They did find these bodies. That's how, and they found him by the bodies. That's what happened. They found him near the bodies. That's how they picked him up. That's what it was. And then they started to find the kids. But I think they said that there was some other, so I kind of vaguely remember this story, because it's been like a couple years since I used to listen to all kinds of stuff and read all kind of stuff about this. So especially Gus, he has a podcast on this, Gus T. Renegade, but he did something on this too. Anyways, Williams was convicted in 1982 of killing 2 adults, and immediately after the convictions, prosecutors decided there was no need to try Williams for the child murders, despite the evidence that police said pointed to Williams in most of the cases. Williams has insisted he's innocent. Look, if the evidence pointed to him, then what was the big deal of why y'all couldn't just take it to trial? I mean, these were children. And now Sorensen Forensics has agreed to analyze evidence from the Atlanta child murders and will try to extract DNA from that evidence, possibly helping to confirm for Atlanta police who killed the children or who didn't kill them. See, this is a thing. This, like I said, this was tied to the Johnny Gosch story. And in the Johnny Gosch story, they didn't, from what I gather, it's just my conjecture, that law enforcement around there at that time didn't want anybody going down for this murder that they didn't want going down for this murder. So they had to find somebody and pin the tail on the donkey. And this piece of shit was available for charges because he was already working with the CIA. So Wayne Williams, he's no innocent. He killed 2 people. So fuck him. But who killed these kids? And how many other kids did they kill or kidnap? Because if you listen to the Johnny Gosch story, he got kidnapped. Now, these kids were found. I don't know if they know what happened to them prior. Anyway, it goes on to say, Sorensen Forensics writes on its website, we generate DNA profiles from samples with limited amounts of DNA and from difficult or degraded samples. Look, I'm going to just leave this alone real quick, but we're not going to talk about that lady that was selling that pill with the DNA. I'm not finna go there. So anyway, Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms in 2019 initiated the review of the cases. Okay, so I do remember but there was nothing at the time. She just said that she was going to have them do this. And her office emailed 11 Alive on Tuesday saying that she has pledged to the parents that their children still matter. Well, that's good, Keisha Lance Bottoms. They better fucking matter because they didn't matter back then. Anyway, she hopes the DNA testing will bring some sense of peace to so many families still searching for answers, even though they refused to press charges or investigate any further back then. Even though this has already been opened up multiple times since DNA has been.
I always thought owning a vacation home was hard work. From finding
since DNA has been. Hold on.
But with Vacasa, they put my vacation
how come this
home
keeps
to work
doing?
for
Oh,
me.
because I haven't listened to it yet. We're gonna listen to the news story in just a second, but anyway, let me go back down here. All right, we're almost done. Is this the same one? Oh no. Here we go. Just last month, Gwinnett County Police used a similar DNA lab in Texas to identify the remains of a young woman who'd been murdered in 1973. Now the DNA lab in Salt Lake City may, in the next several weeks, be able to bring that same kind of clarity to the parents of the Atlanta children killed so long ago. Children who would now be in their 50s. That's what I was going to say. Y'all made sure that the people who did this is dead and gone. Because if the kids are 50, how old are the people did this? Because
the DNA lab in Salt Lake City may, in the next several weeks, be able to bring that same kind of clarity to the parents of the Atlanta children killed so long ago.
Seriously? Okay, so that's my e-reader. Okay. Don't judge me. Anyway, so that is the end of the story. I just wanted to talk about that because I wanted to get that update. Oh, it looks like there's some more down here, but basically that was the end of it. But we're going to watch, actually not the end of the story. That was the end of the article. Here goes the actual news clip. Hold on just a second.
Our top story tonight, folks, we're learning more about the cutting-edge DNA lab. Atlanta police are now hoping it's going to reveal some answers in the child murder cases. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Ron Jones.
And I'm Jennifer Bellamy. The lab is all the way out in Utah, but police say it may give a voice to the young victims of the serial killer decades ago. John Shurik brings us all new information tonight.
This is the DNA lab that is now on the case along with Atlanta police. Sorensen Forensics in Salt Lake City, Utah. A lab that is 2,000 miles and 40 years away from where more than 24 Atlanta children took their last breaths. Children murdered, Atlanta police still suspect, by Wayne Williams. The children's bodies discovered one after another from 1979 to 1981. Williams was later convicted of killing 2 adults, but he never went to trial for the child murders, and he's always insisted he's innocent. Now, Sorensen Forensics has agreed to analyze evidence from the Atlanta child murders and will try to extract DNA from that evidence, possibly helping to confirm for Atlanta police who killed the children or who didn't kill them. Sorensen Forensics writes on its website, "We generate DNA profiles from samples with limited amounts of DNA and from difficult or degraded samples. It is specialized technology that did not exist 40 years ago." Atlanta Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms initiated the review of the child murder cases in 2019, and on Tuesday her office emailed 11 Alive that she has pledged to the parents that their children still matter, and she hopes the DNA testing will bring some sense of peace to so many families still searching for answers. Just last month, Gwinnett County Police used a similar DNA lab in Texas to identify the remains of a young woman who'd been murdered in 1973. Now the DNA lab in Salt Lake City may in the next few weeks be able to bring the same kind of clarity to the families of the children in Atlanta, murdered so long ago. Children who would now be in their 50s.
Well, this is a story we have been following for you for years now. For a look at some of our previous coverage, visit our special section at 11alive.com/Atlanta Child Murders.
There has never been a better